Alright, year 11, it's a nighttime video. We're trying something different here. I can see a couple of lights from my pergola shining on this. I hope it's alright. TRIG identities from 6G. You're going to have to do a lot of work on your own here and just play with these things. I'll show you about playing in a minute. Alright, I seriously want you to read through 262 to 265 as your first thing before you get on the blower and say, I don't understand, what do I do? Have a read through those and just look at some of the examples. Alright, now in our video last week, remember we did that unit circle and we did sine squared theta plus cos squared theta equals 1? I kind of showed you these when we were in room C5 just before we left. If you take this thing and you divide everything by cos squared theta, that's sine squared theta divided by cos squared divided by cos squared, and 1 squared divided by cos squared. You get sine squared, cos squared, cos squared, cos squared, 1 over cos squared. Sine on cos becomes tan, cos on cos becomes 1, and 1 on cos squared becomes sec squared. There's your second trig identity. That's your first one, there's your second one. Now let's go back to this one and divide everything through by sine squared theta. So I get sine squared on sine squared, cos squared on sine squared, and 1 on sine squared. Sine on sine is 1. Cos on sine is cot. That's the opposite of sine on cos, right? And then 1 on sine is cosec squared. So there's your third trig identity. These three things are going to come in very handy for all these things in 6G, as well as some of the other things that you've learnt there. Alright, let's do 6G 11b. It's a really easy one. It says, prove that this side equals this side. Cos squared minus sine squared. So change cos squared to 1 minus sine squared. Cos squared is 1 minus sine squared. Minus sine squared, which gives you 1, minus 2 sine squared theta, which is exactly what the right hand side is. So it only took one step. Pretty straightforward, but that's the gist of what you've got to do. Now I've picked a really hard one here. 16a, it's in the enrichment bit. But this will give you the vibe of what you've got to do in all the other ones. 2 cos cubed theta minus cos theta over sine cos squared minus sine cubed. Now it says you've got to equal cot. So let's just bug around with this for a couple of minutes and see what happens. You can see it took me a long way. This is my first go through there. Might have been easier. So 2 cos cubed minus cos theta, take a cos out the front. Gives me 2 cos squared minus 1 in the bracket. And then I've got sine out of there on the bottom, cos squared minus sine squared. Now I've got a cos over sine, which is what I'm trying to find is cot, so maybe all of this stuff's going to turn into 1. So 2 cos squared theta minus 1. 2 cos squared theta is cos squared plus cos squared minus 1. Now cos squared theta minus 1 is, sorry hang on, let's just keep going, and then on the bottom I've got cos squared minus sine squared. Cos squared minus 1, so down here I'm going to make cos squared, leave it where it is, and then make my cos squared theta 1 minus sine squared theta, minus 1. Now check out what happens there, and then I end up with cos squared minus sine squared because that one and that one go away. So now look what I've got. On the top I've got cos squared theta minus sine squared theta, and on the bottom cos squared theta minus sine squared theta. So those two things go away. And leave me with cos on sine, which is cot. Now, I've gone through that fairly quickly. You might want to have a look at that 3 or 4 times just to go through that. But that's the general gist of those things. There is a lot of those in there to play with. I want you to have a go at those today. Don't panic. It's really tricky and you've just got to play with them. Okay, have a good day.